Okay, so let's talk about dedication and dependability. Two of the most important things that you will focus on as you build your business. Are you the most dedicated and dependable person in your business? Question mark. What I like to tell people is if that isn't your mentality, if you aren't planning on being the most dedicated and dependable person in your business for the first 5, 7, 10 years, don't get started. Being dependable and demonstrating that to your people is so critical because they will live up to that standard. When you set a standard in your business, well, you should expect your people to meet 90 or 95% of your expectation. If you roll in at 70% effort or 80% effort, your people won't even meet that. And then the business, the culture in the business is not going to be a culture of we're doing everything we can to make this thing successful. I oftentimes think that people look at businesses and they think it's like making soup. Cut up the ingredients, put them in a pot, bring it up to temperature, and let it cook, and you're going to end up with a successful business in the end. There couldn't be anything further from the truth. What you do when you show up, how dedicated you are, how dependable you are, is an absolutely critical part of building a successful business. I'll never forget, we had a franchise owner that was struggling, and I went to visit with her, and I got there at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I walked in and I go up to the barista that's working behind the counter and I say, is the owner here? And she says, no, the owner usually gets in at 10 a.m. By the way, we are in the coffee business. Showing up at your coffee business at 10 a.m. is kind of like going home, if you owned a bar, going home at 5 p.m., right? And let the bar sit there until midnight by itself. Anyway, so I go and I sit down at a table and I wait, and she rolls in about 10:20. She kind of strolls in, she goes into the back of the house, she comes out front behind the counter, and she starts working. Now, she wasn't in uniform. She had pink Crocs and a Def Leppard t-shirt on. She wasn't wearing an apron, which, by the way, is a critical health code violation. I looked at that business, it was struggling, and I said, boy, this person is just not dedicated to doing what she needs to do to make this business successful. A lot of people go into business and they think to themselves, I'm going to hire a manager and the manager's going to run the business for me, and I'll sit up at my lake house and check in on the financials on a daily basis. And that is not entrepreneurialism. That is not being a strong business manager. That is not being dedicated and dependable. You need to be in your business, setting the tone. One of the other things too is if you're in corporate America, right, and you show up to a meeting and you're not prepared, it's going to show. Right, and your boss is going to know, everybody else in the room is going to know, and it's going to make you look bad, and it's going to potentially affect your career. Right? As the entrepreneur, guess what? You show up to a meeting and you aren't prepared, nobody cares. No one's going to hold you to account. No one's going to bring it to your attention. In fact, your people are probably going to be a little bit relieved because that means they don't have to show up prepared either. One more story about dedication. I used to have the 500-second rule when I was in the stores. And what I would do is I would turn the open sign on 500 seconds before our posted opening time. And what I wanted to do is I always wanted to be dependable to the consumer, right? So that they would know showing up that we were going to be there, we were going to be open, and they could even get used to the fact that we were going to be open a little bit before the opening time. But the real magic of this is I would be fanatical about that in the store pre-opening. So as we're getting ready to open, as we're brewing coffee and we're setting up the store for opening, that everybody would know 500 seconds before opening, we were going to pull the chain and the open sign would turn on, we'd open the doors. And that had a ripple effect. The intensity of that is what I wanted to convey. And so when I'm not there anymore, when I'm not in the store anymore, that is going to carry over. Right? And people are going to know the 500-second rule. Well, if you can get that ingrained in your people, if you can be so dependable that they know, and you do it every single time, they know that culture carries forward, and they know that that's what they're supposed to do. So making sure that you're fanatical in relation, you're dependable in relation to the execution of your business is absolutely critical to the overall ongoing success. Again, I'll reiterate, the most important piece here is you have to have the mentality of being the most dedicated, the most dependable person in your business for the first 5, 7, 10 years in order to make it successful.